I'm one of the strongest men to ever walk the earth.
I love Caesar salad.
It's the Husky Boys podcast.
Oh, were you a Husky boy?
I was a Husky boy. We talked a little bit about it last week. I was like, I was walking through J.C. Penney the other day, and they had Husky up, Husky, and it made me laugh. I was just like, man, this might be the name of the podcast. I know we haven't named it yet, but
I've got T-shirts that say Husky on them.
No way.
That was like, for a long time, that was what it was called. That was like the nice way of saying it. And then it got switched to we don't say Husky anymore, you know? So I always was proud, you know, when I said it. I'd be like, I'm a Husky boy.
it was the R word for chubbies.
Exactly. Yeah, buddy. What part of Texas are you in right now?
I'm in Austin. I'm here for the Moon Tower Comedy Festival.
Nice.
So nice. I did a couple shows last night, and I got a couple shows tonight, and I think one show tomorrow, and then I head back. So yeah,
nice. It's probably such good weather right now. It's the best time of year to be in Austin.
That's what people were saying. It's not too hot, and it's got a little bit. You know.
That's what people are saying. Meaning it's hot as hell to you.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's not. It's pretty nice. It just at night it's got a little bit of, you know, it doesn't go cold. It goes a little weirdly sweaty. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So
it mugs out. It gets muggy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good point.
It's weird. I don't know if it's saying a lot, but that area you're in, that we call that the hill country, that's the best weather in Texas. The best. If you go down to Houston, oh my gosh, Houston is humid and death, and Dallas is dry death. At least they're like, you know,
I don't know.
It's a little more doable.
I was in San Antonio last year in August, and it was like the pavement at night just radiated heat. It was. I'm just like, well, what do you people do here in the summer? Oh, we stay indoors. You know, I'm like, what's the point? We get big houses, we stay indoors. But I don't know. I think the people that should be paid the most are the people that work in heat outside. They should be just thrown cash.
I got a buddy who owns a company, and they do they repave or whatever. They take a parking lot and they redo it so it's nice, and they put all that black tar on it. Can't imagine doing that in August in Texas.
Yeah, and that's when they do it. They have to do it in the summer. They can't do it in the winter. So.
Right. Well, I trained there. So I trained for Worlds for 2 years when I was living there, and I became really adapt to heat. So I would train in a metal garage type of gym. And no fans, no AC. They have fans.
Are you serious?
Turn off the fans. I'd turn off the AC. I'd turn it all off, and it would be like 160 in there, and I just make myself just pour pools of sweat out and everything. But then you go to I think the 1 year we went to Malaysia, and then the second year was Manila, the Philippines. You get out in those jungles, and it's like, cool, I'm fine. And everybody from Canada, everybody from England, they're like
just get knocked to shit, right? What would you when you do that? Would you just hydrate with water, or would you do something special for the hydration? What would you do?
You gotta pay attention. Everybody's different, and I'm a big guy, so I'm sure it's very specific to me as well. You do salt. At my worst, I was doing salt intake. So I would, in the morning, I'd get a teaspoon of salt in my hand and lick it, and go about my day. And then if I felt it, I'd do it again.
Wow.
Towards the end of my career, I became a huge pickle juice guy. So there's a lot of pictures and videos of me, the world's strongest man, with this giant pickle jar just standing there chugging it.
This girl posted yesterday, she's insane if she'll drink from a pickle jar.
Yeah. I have to agree. I've never met a sane girl that sucked down pickle juice.
I was like, yeah, that's you. You're a nut. I know. I've met you before. Yeah, so that's
Oh
really
yeah.
funny.
Well, there's plenty of them out there too, all over.
How many years did you do strongman for?
A decade, almost exactly. So
Is
I popped in like 2013, and my last one was 2023, I think. Yeah.
and is that the average length of somebody's career in that?
I'd say it'd be really weird to pick an average. I would say the average length of someone trying to do that is negative whatever. Like it's like most people hurt themselves getting into figuring it out. If you make it to the pros,
That's interesting.
dude, I know so many guys that just fold in half trying. Everybody, you'll see a goal, and then like anything, like if let's just say basketball, you see a goal and you watch all these old Kobe tapes, all these old Jordan tapes, and you're like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start jumping from the free throw line and sticking my tongue out right now. I knew a kid in high school who bit his freaking tongue off. Like,
No way.
yeah, it was gross. It was at church basketball too. He was holding it.
At church basketball.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
on a Wednesday night. Oh man, but
Uh,
you can't skip all the times that Jordan spent in junior high running lines and working and all that stuff. Kobe, from the day he could walk, I bet you he was doing something athletic. So there's a lot of process that people try to skip, especially in a sport like strongman. Like nobody ever really heard about that very often, right? So you get in and you're like, oh, I can bench 2 plates. I'm a big guy. I could do this.
right.
I'm as tall as these guys, maybe, or whatever. Or you look at the weights and you're like, okay, most of these guys are 350 to 400. If you're a big guy and you're into 300s, a lot of them just think they can jump in. I'll just tell one story. There was a guy in my first real amateur show was in Colorado. Brian Shaw was hosting it, and Brian's strongest man who ever lived by far. Maybe not by far, but in my opinion. We were doing the show, and this guy was telling me, he was like, "No, this is my first show. I just thought it'd be fun to figure out. I feel like I live around Brian. I'm the same size as Brian. I remember watching Brian play college basketball, and somehow that made him think that he was like in the. It makes sense. It's like the guy watching Monday Night Football, being like, "Why is that quarterback throwing like an asshole?" You know?
Yeah.
This guy, I don't know how he survived the whole day because it was a brutal show. But we get to the end and it's always the Atlas stones. You've seen those balls, the concrete balls?
Yeah.
So he's picking it up like this and loading it and then getting the next one and loading it. So he gets to like the third one, which is where it starts to get like a little heavy. And he picks it up right here and he gets stuck trying to put it up. And he's like rubbing it on the platform. So this is the platform and the stone keeps going like this. And he's doing this, blacks out, puts the whole thing down on his nut and his leg. I think it was 340, 360. His ankle snaps. And I hear his scream goes, "Ah!" like I hear it in my head. Like it was very, very rough to watch. It was rough.
That sound of a bone just breaking is just or
like
yeah.
I heard
and then the scream
snap before. It sounds like someone like slaps the back of their leg.
Yeah, a lot of people say when their Achilles goes, they think they've been shot in the back of the leg, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that too. Yeah, it was weird. Like my bicep tore, and when it happened, it felt like someone tased me, like someone stuck a taser in my arm and shocked me. Yeah, it was silly.
I remember I was mountain biking and I wiped out, and I just remember the pop.
What part of you?
The ankle pop.
And the ankles, man, they're like a lingerer, you know, like ankles.
I'm still suffering.
Elbows, you know, like those joints, but the ankles, knees. It's like I hurt my ankle before college. It still hurts, like regularly.
Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah. Do you still do a lot of PT and stretching and stuff like that?
I do stuff. I slowed down a lot. Like I got so sick of being at the gym, man. Like I
Was
honestly,
your
I
life?
feel like a theater nerd that got forced into bro life, and I got
That's
so freaking
funny.
sick of it. And then now
Maybe
I'm
that's
at
maybe
the
that's the name of the podcast, Theater Bro.
theater bros. Bro, did you check out my plie on that third act, brah? No,
I love it.
I was obviously very serious about it, and then I tabled out, and then right now I keep getting all these crazy opportunities. I'll talk to you about them when we're not recording, but I keep getting all these crazy opportunities to do stuff, and they all require me to be a strong man, and it's like, all right, like I've got to make sure I'm staying in shape. I wanted to just do act. I would have loved to just got fat and be a character actor. How cool
Right?
that would have been. Oh, I would have loved that. But we'll see. I mean, I got to be in shape at least for this year now. It looks like.
It's just for money. For money.
Yeah,
It's money. It's
exactly.
money.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
money. We all like money.
When
Yeah.
you
That's
stopped, when you stopped comedy for a while, did you come back for that same kind of thing? Like you were like, there's something to chase here. There's something, or like, was it just something that was in your life that you needed back? Or
I,
I'm
I've
thinking it's similar.
I've never stopped. That's I've
Didn't you take a long break? You said.
no. Yeah. I've just I I've been going since I was been 20 years old. I just I when we stopped, my career kind of slowed down. That might be what you think the stop was. Like but I've never. It's always been my escape. It's always been my finance. So so yeah,
Wow.
even though the funny part about my stand-up career is even at the worst times, I was I was doing well. Like I was living a normal life financially, and it's sometimes it's been my it's I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's been my biggest love, but my biggest love hasn't always loved me, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Totally.
only way to, it's just, treated me bad and just kept me enough around that I just like blah, 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 blah. But
Yeah.
it's always been the thing that I'm it's my heroin. It's absolutely my heroin. So
So it said no, and you stalked it back into submission.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you love me, bitch.
Because you posted something before. I'm trying to think of the exact words, but you said something in a post about like, I know I've been gone a couple years, but I'm back or something. It was very specific.
It might have been an area that I might have been talking about an area like I haven't been,
Yeah, that makes
like where
sense.
I haven't toured. So something,
I
but
feel like
no,
I assumed a lot if it wasn't what I
I
thought.
love it. It's also probably just the way I said it. I probably made it sound like that, made myself more of a pussy than I thought.
No,
So,
it didn't sound pussy. It sounded like you took a step back and then like you were doing family from the post. Like again, I can't remember exact, but from reading a post, it sounded in my head like you had taken like a step back from comedy and then you were back,
mm,
and it had something to do with you, or maybe this is what it is. I think you were saying you stopped doing crowd work for a couple years and then you're back
I
to it or something like that. Maybe it was like I'm back or something like that.
yeah, it was. They tried to force me out of crowd work. Like they wouldn't give me anything. Like they didn't want me. I was always like, I was offered a special at one
Well,
point, and they're like,
Steinfeld doesn't do crowd work.
that's what it was by. It was from a company, and their biggest client was Jeff Dunham, right? And they said, you can't do crowd work in this. And I said, well, why do you guys let Jeff use puppets? And they're like, well, what does that mean? I go, that's his strongest point, right?
Yeah.
Is him using puppets. My strongest point is crowd work. Why wouldn't you let me do that? Well, we don't know if it works. I'm like, I'm only here in this room because my crowd work works. Right? Like,
Yeah.
what do you people not understand? Like,
Yeah.
what I do works. So
You brought in a sniper and you're trying to make him use a knife now. Yeah.
that's funny. I can't use a knife. I don't know how to use it.
I
I
like
hide
to
in the
be far
trees.
away.
I can
Yeah,
kill, but
man.
not from
That's
not
cool.
close.
I'm glad we brought that up too because I don't want to. I I'm weird in this way where like I like being corrected. I've been coached my whole life. So when I
Uh-huh.
think something and then I learn something like counter not counterintuitive, but that's different like than what
Right,
I
right.
originally thought, I very much enjoy being like, oh, that guy 5 seconds ago, that asshole had no idea what he was talking about, you know? I'm
That's
like
hilarious.
this guy now, and we're already past that dude who thought something ridiculous.
That's hilarious. I love it. Well, the thing, we don't know each other that well, so we're gonna learn a little bit. That's why I was like, when you asked me, hey, let's do a podcast. I'm like, hey, that's interesting. That's it. Because usually podcasts are with buddies,
Right.
right? And I feel like we're becoming friends, and I love it when you tease me, when you send stuff. Yeah, that's like I sent one of my first message was like, "Hey man, you're really funny," and you sent me back, "Are you trying to fuck me?" I was just like, "Oh my god, is that how I'm coming across?" I'm like,
You
so,
develop an insecurity about it. From now
oh
on, you
my,
message first, bro, what's up,
bro,
dog?
or at the same time, holy shit, I might be gay.
Go stare at the mirror for a while.
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. So, but yeah, I just, you're so interesting to me, and the world that you've come from, and the world that you're in is so interesting. And I don't know. Understand. I don't really understand why you like stand up. So I know you like a lot of stand ups, and I don't. Is it just because most of us are on podcasts? Is that how you like?
Well, that's part of it because I'm a big podcast listener. When I'm doing
What's your
stuff, I'm
favorite?
always
What's your
got
favorite one?
pods. I mean, they change a lot. Right now, I mean, I'm cooling off a little bit of Kill Tony, which is not a big. I mean, I listen to every episode, but I'm really, really excited right now when a new Story Wars comes out. I've done Rogan before, and I listen to Rogan stuff. I basically just the list of comedians. I like Tim Dillon. I listen to Flagrant. Shoot, man, like there's. I basically listen to almost any podcast if it's a comedian talking, and most of the time I'll even give them a. I'm not gonna. I feel like I'm gonna take shots here, but like I really used to like Bad Friends a lot, and then it just got kind of repetitive to me. Like
That's so funny.
I get,
But
I get.
that's
I don't like when people say something like, "Hey, we recorded this 7 months ago," so don't. Like as soon as somebody says something like that, I'm like, "All right, no." Or if people there's tricks comedians use. I've been around a long time. There's tricks that everyone has in their bag, and there's tricks comedians will use where they can like go back to the well on a crappy joke, and like the fifth time they do it, they think it's the funniest, and they'll just keep doing it, and then if you listen to their pod enough, you'll be like, oh, well, they don't like podcasting. They're trying to fill time. They're not
I
having a
do think
conversation.
I do think podcasts have a shelf life, and we
You
have
mean
it
like
because
per episode or the whole podcast itself?
the whole podcast. I think the whole podcast. I think it runs its course, and I think then you have to stop and reassess, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to when you have such success from it. But I'm a big fan of English comedy TV, and if you
When you
notice,
say
they don't.
English, you're saying England
British.
or people who speak. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
British,
Yeah.
British. Okay, so British, but they don't run a show into the ground for 10 years. You know what I mean? And McBride does that too. Like McBride cuts things that you think can go for many more years, but he 2 or 3 years and then he's done. Right, moves on to the
Yeah.
next
And
project.
he's very specific about ending each season so he could walk away.
Right. But I do think podcasts are the same way. I think we've kind of we're riding them into the ground now instead of, all of a sudden just one day going, hey, we had fun. That was good. We're gonna
Right.
wrap it up now.
Yeah.
But so because it's not the news at the end of the day. It doesn't need to like every day at 6 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
And
So
it turns in, I think it's a very special person that doesn't turn it into a job. It's like pretty much impossible, right? Like,
right.
especially if you're successful and you have a schedule where it's like this day we do this many hours of talking. You can you can so hear when you first get into a pod and you're like, oh man, Bobby Lee's fired up. He learned the piano and he likes to get cranking with a little da 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 da. And then you get like 6 months in and it's like, okay, I don't think they have the same excitement for sitting in the studio and talking about nothing.
That's so funny.
You know,
Yeah.
there's got to be ways to keep it fresh, but you know, I feel like I'm saying bad stuff about people. I feel bad.
No, I don't think I think we all. I think we all. It's guys are talented, and then when it comes to podcasting, it's much like stand up. You need to be able to shift and shape, right? And podcasting used to be more like that, but it's become so financially lucrative. It's gotten in these kind of spaces, and instead of just taking, hey, well, we'll be back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we're just going to take a break from it because we got things. Life's going to get in the way for a bit. But
Right.
if you're with a podcast company say you have to be here, you have to be that time, you have to be this, right? So
Right.
yeah. So
Even it hasn't aired yet, but I did Stavros Pod. And it's one of my favorites. I love because it's nice the way that like different callers make it a different episode and everything. But I still, even though I freaking love Stavi, I love him and I still listen to every episode. When I hear him joking at the beginning of the episode about, oh, this will be out in 6 months, in my head, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I just had a conversation with him last week. Like, I feel like I'm not going to get anything out of this.
That's so funny.
It sets you up to not be as in tune to it either. But, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're getting off in the weeds about shit and nobody.
No, I don't think anybody talks about podcasting and what it is. Like, I really, the part about it that was so great was how guerrilla it was, right?
For sure.
And now it's not guerrilla; it's corporate now.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, or System of a Down forcing people to get vaccinated to come to a show. Exactly.
Yeah. And then he goes, "What's on his tinfoil?"
Oh, dang it! I forgot a Borders. My bad. What's going on in Canada? Like in America, we hear. Okay, not we. I've got to get better at not speaking indefinites. I say things like always and never and we, as in I saw an article and all of America agrees with me now.
That's so funny.
I'm very bad at definites. So I look at stuff and I see, like the prime minister got kicked out and then this could be complete bunk. So I'm asking you, I'm not telling you, I'm asking. Okay. The prime minister gets voted out. Some lady, a blonde-haired lady, was killing it in the race and then they arrested her for whatever, some kind of silly charges. And
No, that was in France.
That was France? That wasn't Canada?
France. That was in France. A lady got. I don't think the lady was the lady. There was a lady running, and she was doing really well, and then she just put it in the weeds. Is basically what happened.
Oh wow, that wasn't Canada then.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some sort of politician in France that got arrested, though. I remember that. So, and I didn't hear about the lady in Canada, but maybe I'm wrong. But the guy that came in was just so. Here's how Canadian politics work, right? It's a parliament, and nobody runs for prime minister. You run for leader of your party.
Okay.
Right. Everybody votes for their person in their district, right? And whoever gets the most districts, you're in charge, and then whoever is your leader becomes the prime minister. That's how it works.
Okay.
So it's not like you run
similar, but not exact. Yeah.
Similar. Yeah. There's no because there's no vote for your own person and then vote for the prime minister. You vote.
Are you guys in the same boat as us, where we look at our choices and we're like, God, my retarded guy who mows my lawn could probably do better. Like,
The
it
funny
always
part,
seems like
there's so many parties in Canada. There's a good chance your retarded lawnmower is actually running for something.
I feel bad because I love the kid who mows my lawn and he's not really retarded. I just came up with a horrible example. But like it does feel like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like when you walk around and you talk to people, it's not, in my experience, it's not like the internet. Like it's just normal people. And I meet smart people all the time and stuff. It just
The internet,
seems like
the
we don't
internet,
have that.
the internet causes people to think they know what they're doing and yip yap. I do feel that in Canada, um, there's can't, and I feel like this in America too. Things are going really well, and there's this group that tells you they're not going really well, and they try to fear you into somebody taking what you've built, right?
For sure.
And we, for some unknown reason, people, there's been they suddenly it's gotten loud, that those people, and that's what the internet's given the ability to do, is to be this loud fear.
Yeah.
But things aren't really that bad. Like even even at the worst of times in Canada or America, things are really fucking good.
Yeah.
And that's not what people don't look at it like that. They think things
Yeah.
are bad, but really, our water's clean.
Well, unless you're in Flint, Michigan. Yeah.
Unless you're in Flint, Michigan, then we just ignore them.
Or if you live in Palestine, Ohio.
Yeah. You do not call it Palestine. It
feels like the people that get worked up about it too are the people that aren't having a harder time. Like the people in Palestine, Ohio, or the people in Flint, Michigan are not the people freaking out about whatever's going on. They're busy trying to figure their stuff out.
Yes, they're busy trying to deal with their problems, while the person from 1,000 miles away that's living a great life is crying foul for them, right?
For sure, yeah.
So, but I also think first world countries are dealing with, we've been through the Industrial Revolution and stuff like that, and now our things have moved. The technical, but things have moved away, right? The industry has moved away, right? And we're trying to figure out what to do next, right? So suddenly real estate becomes the industry for everybody, right? Everybody's selling real estate. Everybody's buying houses, redoing those houses, and then selling them at a profit and making money that way, and causing it harder for the average guy to buy a house, right? And like we're trying, and there's all this nobody's really like, when you're just working and trying to put food on the table, you don't have time to complain about what things are, and people are just, they got a lot of time on their hands and they're complaining about how bad things are, I don't know, my parents raised me with the attitude that, you punch a bully in the face and you protect the weak. Right. And right now I feel like we're punching the weak in the face and protecting the bully. Like there's so, I'm a comedian, so I joke about everything, but who cares about what other people are doing? I don't care if you got 3 cocks. I don't care if you got fucking half a cock. I don't care if you got 3 vagina lips and 1 cock. I don't care. I just don't care. How do you treat people? Right? How do you treat people? How do you treat people? Yeah. And by the way, and DEI, when they talk about that, I'm like, no. People, you have to work. Even if you're a girl, you have to, or a boy, or a boy with whatever. People, you still have to do the work to get the job. Like nobody gets. You may get help to get to the part where you can learn to do something, but you still have to do the work. We all have to do the work, no matter what. It's like what you're saying, what we talked about earlier. I can do that. I lift about the same. I can. And then he gets to the third thing. I can't do this. That's life. We
Yeah,
all think we can do something and we can't, right?
for sure.
So yeah, I don't know where we're going. Anyways, what we're trying to say.
Well, I got something to add to it too. Like with the DEI thing, it's a great example too, because from my thoughts on it is like we get sold these ideas that any decent person's like, I would love to do this. Like feed the homeless, make sure people are included. Don't have separate water fountains for different people. All these things,
Right.
right? And you get sold this idea. When I was a kid, we got taught about the 3 strikes law in school. And
Right.
the 3 strikes law was brought about because there was a father whose daughter was brutally ended in a very rough way. It was horrific. And the guy who'd done it was like a 20-time offender. And so they take this emotional father and they put him up on a stand and he's bawling about his beautiful little girl and all his loss. And that takes fire to everybody. And boom, they use that. Now we have the 3 strikes law and people go to prison for 25 years for literally stealing a piece of pizza. Literally,
Yes.
No exaggeration. That happens, has happened. And so like when you look at things, like we have collectively as America for the last, since JFK was assassinated, we have always voted for the politician that wanted no more war. Like whoever said, if you go through all the presidential elections, whichever one said, I'm going to end these wars, won. But guess what? We've been at war for 30 years in America. We don't call them wars. We have different words that make it different when you murder children and babies now. But we have been at war for 20, 30 years. A lot of people may feel like the thing that's holding them down right now is all the BS. Like, of course, Americans don't want to kill people. It's been decided. If you look at who wins elections, the people who say that they're going to stop killing people keep winning. And if you look at like, it took no time for that father to pitch the idea of 3 strikes, we need to protect our babies. Or the DEI, we need to be inclusive. All these people are being left behind. And then it gets turned into other stuff and manipulated by this and that. And nefarious characters take advantage of the emotions of people. And then you get 9/11, we have to go to Afghanistan for 20 years. Like, my brother got tricked into that crap. So I think a lot of it too, maybe people do erratically explain themselves as I just did for the last 30 seconds. And they can sound like, oh, the whole world's falling down, when really they just feel like, I don't have any control over what my tax dollars, how much money I paid them, send off murder.
Well, at the end of the day, we're all just like, why are we here? Like that's the big thing. Like I don't care if you're religious or if you're a monk in the middle of nowhere and you think you got it all. You're just like, what the fuck? I just woke up one day and there was a nipple, right? So right.
That's my new thing.
But it's trying to make the best life for everybody, right? I'm the thing that I notice is the mental health. Like the mental health out there right now. Like when I watch people walking down the street and struggling, you're just like, what got you there? What, because at one point you were just somebody's little kid. Yeah. And there was hopes and dreams. Yeah. And now you haven't bathed in for how long? And I'm seeing you walk down the street with one shoe and half a grocery cart. And I'm just, and you're like, okay, what got you there? And I don't know why we don't want to find out what got people there, because things down the street being better, like a better place, even though it's not the best place, but being better makes my street better. Yeah. Which makes your street better. Right. So if we help downstream, it helps upstream.
Community,
Yeah.
But the thing is we all keep voting for that. You'll never see,
doesn't get done.
Like California will never turn down a quadrillion-dollar bill that will help the homeless. Like every 2-3 years, there's another $1 trillion they're dumping into it, and everybody votes yes. Like there's maybe not everybody, but we are an extreme majority. The people who actually want to care and want to help and see it as understanding, like that person was a kid, like it seems like even though most of us feel that way, it still doesn't get driven that way. Homelessness is a very big booming business. There's people I can't remember what it was. It was $2 billion bill last year that they've already spent all the money for in California, and the homelessness has gone up 20% or whatever. The numbers are probably all wrong, but it seems like we spend more and it gets worse over and over and over.
Well, it does. I remember I was in Bangladesh, and I was doing shows in Bangladesh, right? And I'm on stage, and there's these white people in the show, and it doesn't make sense to me. And I go, "Why are you here?" And we work with Save the Children. And I said, "So when are you guys going to start?" and the place went nuts. The place went nuts, right?
That's kind of my point.
Because I'd been on the street. And I talked to somebody about this the other day. I remember I'm walking on the street. No, we're in a car, and there's a homeless girl begging for change, and she's like 16, 17, and she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. She's got gray eyes. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, that girl's a model if she lives in anywhere else but where she is, because here she's like just begging for change, and she's not like, and I'm nothing against drug addicts. She's not a drug addict. She's just trying to survive because she's one of the people. She's a have not. She's not the have, right? It's crazy. I know we've gone into the weeds, but I do know how I am different to everybody else. I know that I don't have the answer to fix everything, but everybody else seems to have the answer to fix everything.
I wish somebody in charge would have the answer, is all I feel. I feel like it does feel like a majority of us want it to be a majority of people are, maybe this sounds childish, but I'm a 40-year-old man who's been around the world. I've done a lot of things. I've been homeless myself. I accidentally ended up being a pimp for a summer, whole bunch of stuff. And I feel as though human beings, as a majority, a clear majority, are good people and want people to be happy, healthy, and free. It just seems like it's a gigantic majority, but it doesn't come out that way. If you go to all these spots in Africa where they're having to dig for cobalt, or Bangladesh, or I just saw this thing in Bangladesh the other day, and it was like, I think it was a joke headline, but it said like the world's dirtiest public pool. But I don't know what it was, but it was.
I remember seeing water while I was over there, and it's incredible. And by the way, that's something when they talk about bringing industry back to America. There's places where the water used to be dirty where it's not dirty anymore because that industry isn't there anymore.
Yep.
Sure. And people, you gotta remember that's why some of it was shipped over there, so we could have cleaner stuff here. So
for sure. And I don't think anybody wants to go back to climbing down mine shafts or any of that stuff. It'd be it would behoove us all to step forward in a positive direction. When I talk about it, I kind of feel hopeless, to be honest. I feel like my heart wants that 16-year-old girl to be taken care of in Bangladesh, as well as I took my son to what's above Seattle. It's not Toronto, it's Vancouver.
Vancouver, yeah.
And I don't know if I told you, but he did a stand-up. It was 2 a.m, downtown Vancouver.
No way.
And he was eight at the time. And we walked, and downtown Vancouver while we were there, it was like Walking Dead. It was crazy. And we get there and we pop into a shop to get a water on the walk over. and this homeless lady like stops at the store and looks at him and then screams out. My son was like, "What is going on?" Like, got real close to me, you know. It's like in those moments, I was hoping he would kind of understand. I'm sure it's much more traumatic for him, but I was hoping he would get that feeling too, that like these are humans. We're all from the same thing.
Right.
Like it does seem like, I don't know. The more I talk about it, the more hopeless I feel about it. You know, honestly.
It's so where I grew up in northern British Columbia, and the indigenous people up there, there's many tribes around there, like reservations and stuff, and there was government schools. There's a whole generation of lost people because there was these government schools where they went in and they took children away and took them to schools, and these kids were told that, you know, they had to do it the white way. And
I think that happened here as well. Yeah.
and but they were beaten, and they were not treated well, and raped, and many were killed, and they've been finding these kids like buried and stuff like that. But I remember it was some of my friends' parents were in those schools, and some of the kids that I went to school with, you know, their parents were such a mess. They were a mess. So there's this generation of just being lost, right?
Totally.
And people go, "Oh, why don't you just pull your boots up?"
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't work that way. Some people can get lucky enough for it. Yeah. But some people don't.
Yeah, if it was as easy as just pulling your boots up, everything would be just fine. But that's not the way the world works. And you just, I don't know. It's tough out. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to be. I think I'm pretty normal. It's tough to be pretty normal, but I haven't gone through all those things those people have gone through. And you know, you try your hardest not to look down on those people. You just go, oh, they're struggling, you know. So and that doesn't. I'm not being a bleeding heart liberal here. But I you know,
you don't like kids getting raped at school?
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. But you know, violence, you know, when it comes to violence, I think sometimes violence needs to be reacted with violence. Sometimes, you know, and because things happen to you doesn't mean you get to take it out on somebody innocent, right? But
exactly.
You can, but that doesn't mean I
Wait,
don't understand.
Are we talking about Palestine right now? Come on.
Oh, I'm talking about Ohio.
Ohio should have destroyed every train that comes through there from now on. Well, this week we're on kind of a similar subject. This week I'm going to take my son. He's never been to church before. I grew up. I went to church. I think I explained last time. We were Mormon for a little while because we were starving, and so.
Oh, I thought it was because they gave bikes.
Well, I mean. I was gonna make a horrible joke. I'm not. No, and so I didn't realize it was Easter. Time dating us now, so we'll cut that, whatever. But I didn't realize that's what it was. So we're going Sunday to do that, and I'm excited. It's one of these big Globo churches, but like I don't like that. But I am excited for him to like.
Did you call it a Globo?
Globo. Like
a Globo.
Like global, like it's like okay. You know, like when they say like, oh, Globotron or whatever, like it means like it's big corporate, like trying to take over the globe type of thing. I think if you, I don't know if there's even an actual real word or
that's awesome. Globo, I love it. That's
Globo.
Awesome.
Yeah, Globo. It's ridiculously big. It's probably got 6 or 7 millionaires just because they stand there and tell you about God. But I hate that kind of stuff, but I'm very excited that he's gonna go hang out and learn some stuff, and we get to have these really in-depth conversations afterwards on, you know, what I believe and what they say and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. My mom and dad just would you know, my mom was Catholic, so we had to pretend we were Catholic when my grandparents were in town.
So you went to
but
church on Easter too?
yeah, well, my grandparents were down. Yeah, but I remember she would just go try things out, just go check it out and see if you like it. I never really. I was just like, oh, this is pretty boring. So it
Yeah.
seems to be the same story over and over again. So I just like so, but I
Was
never
she
really
that
got
way
it.
with a lot of things? Was she that way, like she wanted you to explore and learn for yourself, kind of thing?
Yes, yeah.
That's
So
so cool.
my mom was from Australia, and my dad's from Canada. And my mom was a travel nurse, and that's how she met my father. So
Oh.
yeah,
She
she
grew
was
up and lived in Australia.
yeah, she grew up over there. Yeah, so I grew up in northern British Columbia. And every so often we go back to Australia and you know hang out for a couple months at a time,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, so she met him when she was about I don't know 25, and I don't know how he tricked her into it. I've talked to him. He doesn't really have the gift of the gab, but anyway.
I don't know. I don't think you can trick a pirate from Australia. I don't think so. I think she
That's so
chose.
funny that you call. It's funny that you call her that because I've always called her a gypsy.
Yeah.
like, I was
My
like,
family always, we call ourselves gypsies, and she sounded very similar to my mom, too. So,
I remember at my wedding. I remember at my wedding, the night after my wedding, we had this kind of thing. We're all hanging out, and I just heard my mom go. Anyways, that's the night I spent with Wayne Newton. I was
how
like,
did she like
okay.
being in Canada? Like the switch, it seems very well. Nowadays, no. But when your mom was growing up, Australia and Canada were very different, right?
They're well, they were both English colonies, right? So they had that going for them. But the weather wise, it was insanely different. And my parents lived up near Alaska, and my mom was from Sydney, Australia. So she went from
The
city,
glamorous city, though.
yeah,
Ooh.
to the city of terror. So I was like, I remember going as a little kid, just going, why do we live in that village if we could live over here? So but it was, yeah, that's how they met. But she would tell me, get out, go do things. You can always come back. Go
Yeah.
do things. And one of the best things she ever told me, she said, when you go places, take the national airline of that country because you'll learn things on the plane. Like just being on the plane and
Wow.
just seeing things and talking to people on the plane, you'll learn more about than
It's
flying.
rare for a mom like
Yeah.
that. Like it seems a lot of moms, a lot of moms that are involved, I'll say, they're very protective. Like, don't go anywhere. You got to be with mommy. Da 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 da.
No, she said
My
that too.
You're never allowed to grow up. Don't go
Yeah.
exploring,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. But I mean, it seems like she felt that way, but she wanted the best for you and was pushing you towards exploring and finding yourself. That's
Yeah, she was very she was very about that going out. Yeah,
as
be
a parent, it's commendable. Like I got kids, and I'm always like on the edge of like, you want to be tough and you want to let them be tough. There's no way my kids are going to grow up like I did. They're not. They're not going to be
right.
savages. They won't be. But I also don't want to coddle them too much. There's this line. I got a boy and a girl, and so like it's dang near impossible to show how much you care about someone, not be selfish and make that love about you and keeping it all for yourself, but also like letting them, you know, find their own wings, do their own thing, chase a career that nobody thinks is really going to work, like strongman or comedy. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
takes a special person to do that.
I remember I said to my dad, I was working in a gold mine and I was making a shit ton of money, and I just said, I'm going to Vancouver to become a comedian, and can I get a ride to the airport? And my dad said, all right. That's all he said. So it wasn't like you're dumb or anything. They gave. I think they knew they gave me uh, drive. so that I would never, just fall apart, right? Like if something didn't work out, you shifted, right? Yeah. And so, but I knew I had to try this. I knew there was something about comedy that was me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And how
yeah.
freaking lucky. It's like, you seem you have like a very similar at least with what we're talking about, like situation is mine. Like my family was like supportive and awesome about all that stuff, and it was never even a question. Like it's crazy growing up. You always hear all these people. Like if you turn on any podcast and listen to 2 episodes, somebody on that episode will be like, "Oh man, my parents hated that I started comedy or whatever," And it's
Yeah.
that's cool, man. My old man used to work in a gold mine as well. What did you do in the gold mine?
I I worked in explosives. So this is how my career and that was started. I was living in Australia. After I graduated, I went to Australia. I hung out there for a year and a half and came back, and I need to find a job. And my dad was like, well, get your class 3 driver's license so you can drive dump truck and find a
Yep.
job that way. Well, there was a place hiring. They delivered dynamite. So I started as a swamper where I just pack the dynamite into the truck and sit in the truck and then take it out when we got to where we needed to go.
That's what we
And
call people that live in South Florida.
swamper. But it went from there to me driving the truck, and then they said, "Do you want to go to a mine and work for us at a mine?" And I was like, "All right." So they
That's got
sent
to be
me
big
to.
money, big hazard pay, huh?
I think I was making $30 an hour in 1992.
Whoa,
Yeah. So yeah, it
that's
was big
insane.
money.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I spent 6 months in a mine there, building roads and blasting patterns. It was an open pit mine, so we'd blast patterns out so they could take the gold out.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I had all this. I made all this money. That's why I was like, I'm going to become a comedian because I have this money now, and I know I can get the job. Like I can go into that profession if it doesn't work out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so that my backup plan was to bomb.
It's all right. My backup plan was to dig ditches.
Love it, but it was fun. It was a really good time. It was like being that age. We drive. We get drunk every night down at the bar, the Hyder, Alaska. We drive down to Hyder, Alaska, which was 2 kilometers away from the mine, and we just get hammered on this alcohol that they called Everclear. It was
Oh yeah, yeah.
100. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We just get hammered on it and then drive back.
Oh yeah. Everclear's popular in the South. A lot of people make
Uh,
that stuff. Yeah.
it's crazy.
I got a buddy who makes it, like fills it with berries or whatever. So it'll be Everclear, but he ferments it with like blueberries and strawberries in it. So it tastes freaking good. But like you said,
Oh,
2 drinks, you're gone.
I was gonna say you do not feel good in the morning after that. It's basically gasoline, is what it is. So
Yeah. That took balls to walk away from that, man. That's freaking cool. Like
yeah,
my jumping off the cliff was I was like, wow, well, it's either jump off the cliff or sit here and dig. Like I'll just see if I
right.
can fly.
But did you play college football? Did you play
Yeah.
and after college football you went into were you drafted?
No, I wasn't drafted. I got in a lot of trouble in college and stuff, and it ended up I got kicked out of a school in Arkansas, and then after that, I was working at a factory, and I was stacking backer board, which is like the stuff they put in your walls at the house.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So for 12 hours a day, I was standing there shaking backer board. If it didn't crack, I'd stack it. If it did crack, I'd throw it out. And I would, for 12 hours, I would stand there and do that. And almost a year into it, I got a call from a coach at a small school in Oregon. He was like, you've got a year of eligibility. I'll pay you for school, get you out here. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like he pulled me out of the factory, luckily. And after that, like I got a chance. I got signed into the NFL Players Association, and I was looking at being a free agent and going to Houston. and I had a lot of stuff like paperwork and all the stuff saying that I was going, and then it all kind of fell through. I played a little bit of arena ball, but mostly like I screwed myself up by what I did in Arkansas. and
You don't need to tell.
oh, I was a wild man. I was homeless my senior year of high school, and it was I was willing to go to war, but there was nobody who could like you couldn't talk down to me. Like I don't care who it was. Head coach, like you could be Jeff Bezos tried to talk down to me. I was going to try and bite his face off. Like I was a crazy person. I literally ended up accidentally becoming a pimp just to like stop pulling cigarette butts out of the trash to smoke them and all that stuff. So it took me a while to de-crazify myself or whatever. And then by the time
what made you, how did you, we'll wrap it up soon because, you know, we do have other things we have to do, but I need to know before we go, what sent you on the path, not to righteousness or anything, but to just go, hey,
clear myself up.
Yeah, I want life to be easier.
When I was working at Stacking Backerboard, I was cleaning myself up. I'd sold cocaine for a while, and somebody put a hit out on me, and so I left my town and I went and stayed with my parents outside of Reno, and I was cleaning myself up. No rehab, no nothing. That coach called me. I was a beast football player out of California, recruited by every school. Like I'd always had this feeling like I could be special, but then I also had this feeling like I come from trash. I didn't feel like I wasn't supposed to be pulling cigarette butts out of the trash can. I didn't feel like that was weird. I felt like that was who I was. And I guess figuring it out, like
did you meet somebody, or did somebody just kind of change your life?
I mean, getting that opportunity was great. Cleaning myself up was great, and it's kind of an acquired situation where it acclimated into me being a different person again. And you know, I don't. You know what's ridiculous is the only thing I can really remember being like a defining moment that I didn't want to be a crazy homeless guy anymore. Like the defining moment was there's this R&B singer named Life Jennings. And I was listening to his album about like, it was all about like when he got out of jail and when he made it and all this stuff. And like, I remember just like, I was living in my car and I was sitting in my car listening to it and just bawling my eyes out. And then I called my dad and I said, like my dad had a schizophrenic break just a couple years before. And he had gotten back on his meds and was cleaning himself up and doing good. And I called my dad and I was like, I need help. I need something. And he begged me, he said, please come to Reno. Please just stay with us. And that kind of just, I mean, at the time, it didn't seem like it was fixing me. It felt like I was setting myself up to be a factory worker forever. But it did. It saved me, man. I guess Life Jennings, great
cool.
R&B singer. Yeah,
that's really cool.
It was weird though. I appreciate my dad did a lot of stuff to mess me up, but he really saved me right there too. Like he was one of those guys that he was a scary dude, a veteran, and an old monster man. Imagine if I was mean, like the way I look. Imagine if I was mean, like you know. But
thank God. Thank God you're not.
Yeah, he saved my ass, man. He did. You got me a little choked awesome. Up there. I haven't really been appreciative of him for that. I'm kind of glad you made me think about exactly how that went, because a lot of times I look back at him and I don't give him the proper light that he deserves. You know.
That's it sounds like he was there when you really, really needed him, right?
Yeah, so, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's I remember there's some sort. I can't remember who said it. There was somebody, but it was like I can't believe how much my old man learned from when I was 18 to 20. Like Like you think he's the dumbest guy in the world, and then you go like, oh, he's not. So
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
remember who
yeah.
said that. Yeah,
You
yeah.
figure
So
it out when
it's
you see it. Yeah, man.
yeah, yeah. I love it. Well, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy these. I think, we're who knows what we're going to call this podcast, and this is the second episode.
Yeah.
We'll just continue on and just talking once a week, and trying not to just learn how to play piano and ignore it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. I'm
right.
stoked too, man. I love this shit.
I think we should end it every week with what you got going on. What do you got? Like, even though this is not going to come out right away, what do you got? Just tell us what you're up to this week.
Kids soccer stuff, kids Muay Thai stuff. I've got a TV show that I just signed on for. I cannot say, but I am
All right.
so excited. Imagine what was the biggest filmed thing for any streaming platform in the last year? The biggest, most views, most money, most everything in the last year. And that's what I'm doing. And I didn't say anything, and I won't say anything more, but I am
I'll have to
so
figure that.
freaking excited.
Oh, nice. So figure out if you can figure out from that hint. He's going to be doing it.
What about you, man?
Love it.
You were saying earlier about bouncing around in Texas.
Yeah, so I'm in Texas this weekend. Next week I drive. My wife is finishing her doctorate in occupational therapy, and she's finishing it on the East Coast in Virginia. So I'm driving her and our dogs across country. And people are, why are you driving? Because my dogs don't fly well. So my wife's making us drive across country, and she's going to be out there for 3 months.
Man.
Yeah, it's going to be quite the road trip. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
Who knows? Next time we talk, I'll either be comfortable in on the East Coast or divorced.
Being chased down by dogs. Dude, I will tell you, if you're at a truck stop and there's a hole in the door, peek through just to take a good look.
Peek through.
Oh! You're gonna want to see what's in the hole.
Or they'll let you in if you get down there and whistle next to it. I love it.
It's the American way, brother.
It's the American way. Love it, buddy. Love it. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, bud.